Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 13, man. So I'm sorry about day 12, how it just kind of ended there, man. I was half asleep and editing that video this morning, and in true to form jackassery, went ahead and deleted the footage for the last part of it like a jackass. But that is alright, because we've got plenty more to do to film that part of the process, which was basically just etching and final assembly, and I think that's about it. Blasting the frame, I mean, simple stuff. So we're gonna go through it anyway on this one. Raise this up a little bit. So basically what we got going on today is our low layer and our dark tie frame, which is gonna be ridiculously awesome. I can't freaking wait to get this one done. And yeah, we're gonna dive into it. So we're doing our pivot collars again. This one's getting front and rear pivot collars and dark tie clip. So basically this morning, while the other video, day 12, was uploading to YouTube, I got these all laid out and ready to rock and roll and marked out basically where my pivot collar is going to come to. Come on, focus, focus. Anyway, you see the ring. So I basically did that with just took the bit, stuck it in there, twisted it around, done. Doesn't need to be exact. So nice thing about this, because it's that dark tie, and I wanted to leave, I didn't want to take away from that pattern and take away too much by putting too much stupid shit on this thing. So the awesome part is the pivot collar on the lock side will also act as the lock bar over travel, which is nice. So then I don't have to put a separate one in here or a round one or whatever it may be. So that works out good. Our clip is all ready to rock and roll, so I'm going to basically get the small mill behind me all set up and start having at it, man. I want to get some shit done today. It is Saturday. I was a little campfiring and drinking last night, so you know. So yeah, we're gonna hop to it, man. I'll set this camera up somewhere over yay on my tripod legs and film this whole thing. So catch you guys in a few. So welcome back. We got our counter bores all done, or our center bores all done for our pivot collars, and our pivot collar blanks made. Now when they come off of the mill after I cut the hole through them, or just cut them with the hole saw basically, they've got this flange of extra material on them, okay? So basically from this point what I'm going to do is take them over to the grinder and grind all this off of there until it's a flush, complete, basically a cup is what a collar is. It basically is just a cup that the pivot can sit down in, and that's it. So basically we're just making a cup. So I'm going to take these over. I don't think I showed this part. It was just in a, you know, time lapse on the last one. So now I'm going to pop that out of there. Damn, that's a good fit. And we're going to take it over, clean them up, and fit them to these two center bores. So we will pick back up over at the grinder. Welcome back. So we got our two pivot collars all made up. Vegas, there we go. And we got them fitted. Let's see now which one's which. This one's for here. I gotta remember to stop trying to do this through this display. Everything works out on our lock, lines up perfect. That's what we want. And this one's for our show side. There we go. So now those are set. So basically, I'm going to take these over to the grinder because they're sticking way up. And I'm going to level them both off by just basically popping our pivot in there, locking it down, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and run these through, get those pivot collars done, and we will start on our clip. Welcome back, everybody. So I got all my pivot collars both trued up in there, dead flat, just the way I want them. And now it's a fingerprint magnet, of course. So I just took it up to a little bit finer of a grit, getting prepared to put the final finish on these faces, but not quite yet. We've got some machining still left to do, so I'm not going to go ahead and finish them out until we're ready for that. But don't mind this piece. That's just in there to hold my lock bar out while I face this whole thing up. But those came out excellent. Absolutely perfect. Okay. That is right on. So now basically at this point I'm going to go ahead and pop that out of there. Since we're all set. My lock bar, stabilizer, / pivot collar works perfect. I got some grit in there. So basically I'm going to pop this thing apart now. And then we will go ahead and finish out the rest of our frame. Or actually, no, we got to make our clip now. So, I'm going to go ahead and get myself started on that after I get this apart. One more. Pop our whoop. Pop all this apart. Take my step pin in there. Man, that is a good fit. Let's see if it'll come out. There we go. There we are. Zerk pivot collar all finished out. I just got to go around and just clean up the little burrs and whatnot that might still be left on it. And same thing for our lock side one. Let's see if we can get it out of there. There we go. Focus. Focus, focus. There we go. So basically clean up all that junk out of there, get rid of any kind of burrs that are hanging over there, and then I'll throw it on the mandrel and polish it out so that we're ready to flame these, and these have their finish on them. Now it's time to mess with this clip. So I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw, rough cut it out, then hit it up on the grinder, and we'll profile it, and then do our relief and contouring and any kind of other thing that we want to do on it. And once we got that done, we'll take it over and do it just how we did yesterday. Lay it on our scale, center punch it, drill it, tap it, the whole nine. So I'm going to get that rolling, we'll film it, and we'll pick back up over here. Welcome back, everybody. So our clip is all set, all done and finished out, That's going to look amazing on there. Everything's drilled and tapped and ready to go. So we are all good there. I actually took it in a little bit and made it a little bit thinner and slightly smaller because it was just too huge. It looked insane on there actually. But now it looks excellent, man. It's going to look great. And I like also, I wanted it to kind of mimic the blade, that recurved Tonto almost look to it. So that's going to look great on there. So basically from this point, now that all of our parts are made, some of them are finished, we've got everything ready to go, we don't need to make any more parts. It's fine-tuning it all, bringing it through the higher grits and getting everything ready to either be torched, flamed, or whatever finish it's going to be getting, etched, whatever it may be. So I think from this point I could either A, continue with the frame stuff and get all the frame stuff to basically polished or super high satin, however I'm going to do it, or I could start on the blade. And I think I'm going to start on the blade because I cannot friggin' wait to etch this thing. It's going to look amazing. I do want to take this side in a little bit more. It is just very slightly off. If you can see, look up here, this side's in a little bit further than that one. So I'm going to take this top swedge in a little bit, which is also good because it'll expose a little bit more of that core. This camera, there we go. You can see that wavy line right there. That's the core, okay? So I know that if I bring this in a little bit more, it's going to expose a little bit more of my core on this show side, which is always good. I like to try and get as much of it exposed all around as I can. This particular one, the lock side, just so happened to, the core was a little bit closer on this side, so it exposed much faster. But you can fine tune that just by adjusting your angle on your grind or whatever and get it to expose a little bit more, because that core isn't always going to be dead center and it waves, so you've got to kind of work with it to get it to the way you want it and have the effect that you want to have. So I'm going to start hammering away on this thing for a little while. I'll set the grinder up and probably set this thing up in time lapse, maybe do a little slow-mo because I haven't done any of that in this video yet. And we'll run with it from there. Other than that, it's looking like we're going to finish this sucker out tomorrow, which is awesome. So that'll be another one off the list, man. And that's it. I'm going to get myself to work. You guys hang in there, and I will be right back. Everybody, all right, so I wanted to go ahead and stop here for the day. We've got our blade done up to a 120, so tomorrow we're going to pick up and start right off at the grinder and bring this blade the rest of the way up through the grits, man, all the way up through that 400 Trizac, and then this is pretty much ready for an etch, man. I've got to just go around, do all of my profile, put in my sharpening notch, and then just chamfer off all my rough edges after that. Once that's done, basically we're on framework. We're going to take the frame and do the exact same thing. Bring everything up through the grits. We do have to put our milling in here yet, so we'll go ahead and do that first. But as soon as that's done, we got to go through, this will focus. Come on. This thing does not want to focus today. There we go. All of our chamfering's got to get done. All inside here. Our back sides, the whole nine. Our back spacer has got to get done. All finish grits. So all the way up through fine Scotch-Brite, which is about an 800 grit or so. Scotch-Brite's weird. It gets finer as it gets older, basically. And to the point that it's totally shot. But anyway. So basically that's it, man. We're going to wrap up day... What the hell day did I say it was? Day 13. Pretty much at this point, we got quite a bit done. We got our collars made. We got our clip made. We got our blade started. We're in a good spot here. So pretty much tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, this should be a complete knife. This should be finished. We're going to do our milling, do our frame, etch our blade, flame it, put all of our shit together. And this bad boy is going to be off the list. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Yeah, and that's basically it. I am the hell out of here. You guys have a great evening, and I will catch you in the morning.